Now in this lecture we are going to talk about logical operators. Now up to this point you have seen us use of if statements, elif statements, multiple if statements, and even nested if statements. But the thing that we have not been able to do so far is to check for multiple conditions in the same line as it's shown over here. So if we have three different conditions and if we want to put all of them in the same line over here, we need to use logical operator. So let's say in our burger order example, the user wants large burger and they ordered extra cheese and mushroom. So how can we put all of these conditions in the same line of code over here? So in this case, for putting this one in the same line of code, we are going to use logical operators. So there are three main logical operators that are really useful: and, or, and not. The meaning of these operators are similar to their meaning in English. So let's look at them one by one to make things more clear. So the first one is an operator. So when you combine two different conditions using an AND operator, both of them have to be true for entire line to be the true. So if A is true and B is true, so in this case we are using an operator, so the output will be true over here. Now in this case, if any of these cases is false, in this case, for example, let's say B is false, here the output will be false. So same rule is applicable for A over here. So if A is false and B is true, in this case it's going to return false. So if both of them are false, so it's obvious that it's going to return false over here. So let's look at how an AND operator works in practice. In this case, if I create a variable called A and assign a number to it, so let's say we are assigning 11 to it and hit enter. So if I check if A is greater than 10, in this case you can see that it's returning true. So if I put, for example, A is less than 10, in this case you will see that it's returning false because A is greater than 10 over here. Now if I want to check two different conditions in one same line over here, I'm just going to use AND operator. So here if I put A is greater than 9 and A is less than, for example, let's say 12, and hit enter, you'll see that in this case it is returning true because both these conditions are true over here. So A is 11, which is greater than 9, and A is 11, which is less than 12. So that's why both conditions are true, so the output will be true. So for example, if I put A is greater than 12 and A is less than 14. So we know that A is less than 14, but A is not greater than 12 because A is 11. So if I hit enter, you see that in this case it's returning false because one of these conditions over here is false. So that's why in an operator it's returning false over here. So that's what happens when you combine different conditions using AND operator over here. Now if you only needed one of these conditions to be true, in this case we are going to use OR operator instead of AND operator. So in case of OR operator, if A is true and B is false, in this case it's going to return true. So if A is false and B is true, in this case also it's going to return true. So if any of these cases over here is true, the output will be true over here. So it's obvious that if both cases are true, it's going to return true. If both cases are false, it's going to return false over here. So in case of OR operator, it's returning only false when we have both cases are false over here. Now if we come back to the console over here one more time, so in this case, if I put the same line of code with OR operator, for example, if I put A is greater than 12 or A is less than 14 and hit enter, you see that in this case it's returning true because here one condition is true, which is A is less than 14, so that's why it's returning true over here. So it doesn't matter if one of condition is false or not. If any of them is true, in this case it's going to return true. Now the final operator is NOT operator. All that this does is it just basically reverses the condition. So if this condition is false, in this case it's going to reverse it to become it to true. So in this case, if A is true, in this case the output will be false because NOT operator reverses any condition over here. So here, for example, if I write not A is greater than 12, hit enter, you see that it's returning true because A is not greater than 12 over here. So this condition is false. So by using NOT operator over here, it's going to return true over here. So for example, if I put not A is less than 12, in this case it's going to return false because A is less than 12 is true. So it's reversing this one to the false over here. Now, how can we use this one in practice? Now, if you come back to our mortgage calculator, let's say government decided that if the credit score is between 900 and 1000, then the interest rate becomes 3 over here. So we need to add this extra condition to our mortgage calculator. So how can we do that to check that if the score is between 900 and 1000? So for these cases, we are going to use AND operator. So let's head over to our mortgage calculator and implement this condition in practice. So this is our mortgage calculator that we have implemented before. So here first we are checking the salary, then we are checking the credit score, and based on credit score we are calculating the rate. So our condition is like this: if the credit score is between 900 and 1000, in this case the interest rate will be 3. So to implement this condition, I'm just going to put it over here inside this nested chain condition over here. So here I'm just going to put enter. So I'm going to write if condition like this: if credit score is greater and equal to 900, and we are going to use AND operator over here, credit score is less and equal to 1000, in this case the rate will be 3. So here we need to add this if condition inside this if statement over here. So that's why I'm just going to change it to elif statement, because in this case we want only one case to be executed. So if this is the case, it's going to execute only this part. If this is the case, it's going to execute only this part, and it continues like this. Then after calculating the rate, we can print out saying that the interest rate is 3. So we can put another print statement over here with the same indentation level with this rate over here and put 3 over here. Now with this, we have successfully implemented the case in which we are checking that if the credit score is between 900 and 1000 over here. So we are doing it by using AND operator, and we are writing these two conditions in one line over here. And the reason that I've joined it with elif statement over here is I want only one condition to be executed over here. Now, if I run our program, so the first thing that it does is going to ask our salary. For example, if I enter 2600 and hit enter, you'll see that it says that you are eligible for mortgage and what's your credit score. For example, if I say my credit score is 950 and hit enter, you'll see that it says that the interest rate is 3. So it's calculating only this part and it's continuing to this part over here, in which it's asking for our disability. So if I put yes over here and hit enter, the interest rate will be 1. Because here, according to our credit score, the interest rate is 3, and minus 2 because of the disability will be 1 over here. Now with this, we have successfully implemented this condition in our mortgage calculator over here. Now with this, we have come to the end of this lecture. So in this lecture, we have learned about logical operators in Python. So hopefully everything is clear about 3 main logical operators. So see you in the next lecture.